What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Off the Couch Boxing. As always, I'm your host, Reckless Rex Ruger, and that's the Alexis Arguello puppet.
And I'm your other host, Frank Benji's, back with another one.
Yes, we are, and an exciting one. A guy that's made some big news. Angelo.
How's it going, guys?
Good. What's going on, man?
Not much. Just here relaxing at the house right now.
Hold on, man. We lost your camera. There you go. There you go.
Okay.
Well, listen, Angelo, first of all, man, congratulations, man. What a performance, man. Salute, man. And probably early candidate for knockout of the year.
I think so. Thank you for telling me for everything. And yeah.
Rumor has it Luis Alberto Lopez still sleeping. Hasn't woken up yet. But no, seriously, all kidding aside though, man, like, I know you guys are one big brotherhood or whatever, thoughts and prayers certainly go out to him. But there was reports on there that he might've had a small brain bleed, after the fight. So, if him or his team hears this, man, we certainly wish him well.
Yeah, exactly. My condolences go out to his team and all that. And to Fernando. I hope he makes a speedy recovery.
Yeah, but we talked offline though, man. When we were setting this up, though, man, and I told you that me and Benji's were at his last fight against Rhea Abe, and you had kind of alluded to the fact that you had seen some stuff, that you thought helped you out, in this fight. Now that the fight is in the books, now can you elaborate on what it was that you saw? Like, are you somebody that really studies like a lot of film? Because a lot of times it's people on the team that study it.
Yeah, I think it was a combination of my team and me, just kind of brainstorming the game plan and all that. My dad studies a little bit more than me, and he's seen some things, I've seen some things, and we've seen that. I've seen that we had some ability to how do you say it? To negate some of his things that he was doing in the ring.
Yeah. And he is technically like a guy who's not like, always the most technically sound. You know what I mean? Like, he is kind of loose sometimes and a little bit, at times defensively irresponsible, and he gets away with it a lot. Yeah,
correct. I think a lot of that had to do with his punching power. A lot of people move back on him. We've seen that if you throw with them, throw in between shots, that you could catch him a lot of times.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, my assessment of him watching him live was a lot of I feel like once he gets comfortable in there, he starts to showboat a little bit and get a little, loose with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so if we can backtrack a little bit, man, and kind of fill people in a little bit who don't know much about you, obviously, like, your father is your trainer, which I respect, man. Like, this is my son, so we do the father-son boxing podcast thing. So, utmost respect for working like with your dad or whatever. But what was the impetus for getting you into boxing? Like, how did it all start for you?
Pretty much, well, my dad had first put me into karate and then soccer. And then those weren't really my things. He seen that, and he said, well, why don't you try boxing? So he took me to the boxing gym, and I started liking it. I grew a liking to it, and the rest is history, pretty much. He started like bringing home magazines, and like we used to watch boxing together. So that was how it grew, and then from there on, that's how I started competing. And I got my first fight in. I won. And then I think I went like 10-0 as an amateur. And then we started going to tournaments out there in Arizona and started competing in those. And I was doing really well. So I just stuck with it from then on.
What does it do for a kid when you start boxing and you do have that first fight and you get to win? What kind of confidence boost does that give you, like fighting another kid?
It gave me a lot of confidence, considering I wasn't very a confident kid growing up. But when I started boxing and I started winning, I was like, yeah, this might be for me. So it gave me confidence. It gave me something to do, to stay out of trouble and all that.
And so when you first start watching boxing, obviously, as kids, we have those like sports heroes, those athletes that we look up to. Did you have any of those guys in boxing? Who were some of those guys for you?
Yeah, I would have to say one of them would be Oscar De La Hoya. Just
Yeah, that's
because
my guy too.
he was the guy coming up when I was coming. He was the guy when I was younger. Oscar De La Hoya. I liked Marco Antonio Barrera a lot. Eric Morales. Those were the guys that were really making some noise back then.
Yeah. Although Albuquerque is known, to sport some champions, though, man. You're an Albuquerque, New Mexico guy. But shout out Johnny Tapia and shout out the great Danny Romero. I've had him on the show, too, man. Albuquerque's got some boxing history there.
They do. They really do. Shout out to both of those guys. Those are some of my favorite fighters as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, meeting Marco Antonio Barrera was like the eclipse.
I know. I know. Yeah, it was just Hall of Fame weekend. And, we're in upstate New York, so we're practically in the backyard of the Boxing Hall of Fame, and so we got a chance to meet him here last month. And yeah, one of the all-time greats.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and so obviously, you're competing. You look around at the landscape of boxing. All these guys can potentially be opponents, or adversaries. But are there guys as a fan that you enjoy watching that are currently doing it right now? Who are some guys that you enjoy watching? Current
fighters. I like Bam Rodriguez.
Yeah.
Terrence Crawford.
Bam's doing his thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I like Bam. I like Terrence Crawford. I like Canelo. And then there's one more, but I can't think of off the top of my head. It'll come to me, but yeah, those three for now.
Well, I know you're very welcoming, man, of of a potential fight with Mr. What's his name, Benji? Say it for me. Inoue. I always say it wrong. So, obviously, man, he's a big fish right now that a lot of people would like a crack at. So, obviously that's something that you would probably love at featherweight. And all signs point that he is going to be going up in weight.
Mm-hmm. Of course, that's definitely something I look forward to. A lot of people want that fight, and just like them, I want that fight as well. And I think it'll make for an exciting fight. I have the style made for an exciting fight, and I would love for that fight because, in order to be the best, you got to beat the best, like they say.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, a question we always like to ask on this show is, because there's such a hot topic now, and we know we're going to see Mike Tyson fight Jake Paul soon. What's your assessment of these whole gimmick fights, the whole YouTube fights, and all this other?
Personally, I don't really keep up with all that, but I think it's good for boxing. I think so, because you're bringing in a whole new audience to boxing, and potentially inspiring other kids or other people to start boxing or to watch boxing. So in that aspect it's good, but I'm more old school, real traditional, so I like my non-gimmicky fights, as you can say.
Me too. I'm with you, man. Yeah, I don't know. It just feels a little too WWE for me.
Right.
I mean, yeah, I know it's bringing eyes to the sport or whatever, but I mean, it just, I think the big gripe that a lot of people, who come on here, that take the stance of not liking him, it just kind of feels like, you get guys that have been doing this since they were very young. They've been grinding in gyms since they were little kids. And to sit back and watch somebody instantly get these huge paydays that have kind of come to the sport. I mean, it's got to be frustrating.
Yeah, I mean, I can see why it's boxing is ultimately an entertainment. So I can see that point of view. But for a lot of these fighters, we work our whole lives for it, and like you said, these guys are getting paydays, like $1 million paydays, crazy. And all that. So
yeah. All right. So we're big on nicknames here, man. So you got to explain, and you've probably done this on other podcasts, El Chinito, because, I only speak one language. It's only English, so I had to go to the Googles and look it up, and it means Chinese.
Yeah. So my great-grandpa, he's from China. And
makes sense, Benji. Makes sense to me.
Yeah, that's how I got my name. A lot of people think I'm Filipino. Just because I got a little Asian in me. I look a little Asian, so they think I'm Filipino, but I'm actually Mexican American. Just my great grandpa migrated to Mexico like in the 1930s, 1920s. So a lot of my family from my dad's side, they have that look to them. like Asian look.
Yeah. It does
But-
sound Filipino if you choose the pronunciation of Leo, because I've heard people call you Angelo Leo, and I've heard people say Angelo Leo.
Yeah, exactly. I don't mind either one of them. You, I honestly, if you speak Spanish, go ahead and call me Leo. If you speak English, Leo's cool. So
Yeah.
I'm not too crazy over that.
So did you feel?
What is
Go ahead,
it? What is it actually supposed to be though?
Yeah, I mean, gun to the head, and you were telling us, "Hey, address me this way." You know what I mean? What would you tell us that we have to call you?
I have to say Leo because it's a Spanish last name.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
It's a Spanish last name, so you gotta give it that Spanish twist. You know what I mean?
Hey, man, I saw that left hook. I'm not arguing, man. Any way you want it, man. So listen, man. So gotta feel great though, man. Like to hear and the new. I mean, come on, that's exciting right there, man. I mean, especially since with all due respect, you know what I mean. I don't think a lot of people, although I was not one of them, I don't think a lot of people were giving you much of a chance against Luis Alberto Lopez. You know, I think betting odds were certainly against you. Although I was telling anybody that would listen that you were going to win, and I've been on a roll lately, Angelo. I've been on a real roll. Benji's probably doesn't want to hear me go on and on about this, man. But I've been picking them like crazy. I was even very proud that I picked El Rayo to beat Pitbull. That was one nobody saw coming.
Oh yeah. I didn't see that one coming, but shout out to Rayo. He did his thing.
Yeah, he did.
No, that was the fight I wanted him to win, but I was upset
I did too.
about Big Baby Anderson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was totally right on calling Martin Bacoli, man. Nobody wanted to hear me say Martin Bacoli, man, because I don't know. It just Jared Anderson's supposed to be the future of the heavyweight division, and he still might be, man. But Bacoli's like a grizzly bear.
He is, yeah.
Nobody wants to fight a grizzly bear.
That was the first time I seen him fight, and Bacoli, he kind of reminded me of a little bit of George Foreman, just his style.
Yeah, big guy that you could just really punch. You stand right in front of him. If you stand in front of him, man, and you let him punch you. Jared Anderson, probably will go back to the drawing board and he'll look and say that was probably not the best game plan.
But you got to respect Jared Anderson's ability to get back up off the canvas.
Yeah, he took some huge shots.
That man had heart.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he did. Yeah, those heavyweights, man.
Yeah.
You gotta give them their props. Gotta give them their flowers because, man, they take some heavy shots.
And now, speaking of hard shots, man, like when you land that left hook on Luis Alberto Lopez, I mean, like obviously you hear baseball players, will say a lot. I know I grew up playing baseball. Like when they hit that sweet spot and they connect, man, they almost feel like they've connected solidly and it's going out of the ballpark. When you land a punch like that, do you feel like, okay, that's it, he's not getting up from this?
Yeah, actually, I did. But at the same time, like I tell everyone, I threw that shot not thinking it was going to be a knockout blow, but I hit him right on the money. When I seen the replay, it was right on the chin, and he went down. And as soon as I got back to the corner, into the neutral corner, I knew he wasn't going to get up.
It's like there should be an instruction manual for throwing a left hook, and that should be in amongst the compilations. I mean, picture perfect right there. I mean, is that something that specifically you have a nice left hook? Obviously you've got an arsenal, of great punches, a great skill set, but is specifically the left hook, a tool that you felt was going to pay dividends in this fight, specifically that punch?
Yeah,
because I saw in another interview that you said you'd been working on it like in front of the mirror.
Yeah, like I tell everyone, I worked that shot day in and day out. It was something that we worked in the gym. When I got home, I would make sure to work it at home as well, and it paid off. As you can see, it paid off. And left hook to the body, left hook to the head, whichever one. I know I could hurt people with it.
So there you go, kids out there. Practice your left hook, kids. That's Angelo's message out there. Get your left hook up to speed. Yeah, you got to have it.
I mean, you did say it perfect, dude. That left hook was
beautiful. Yeah, I mean, I equate it to the baseball analogy. You know what I mean? Like you hear guys will say, like when they connect the ball, man, boom, they know it's going out of the park. They get it on that sweet spot of the bat. I'm imagining it's probably the same for when you land like a nice punch.
Right. Same thing.
You just kind of feel it. Now, you're on a nice roll, man. I mean, that's 5 fights in a row. But for a while there, man, it seemed like the career was going a little stagnant. Can you elaborate on like what was going on? You know, because you know in 2019 you fought 4 times, and then in 2021 twice, not at all in 2022, 1 time in 2023, and then you've really come back here in 2024 on fire. Like, was there like a time when like the passion was waning, or like what was going on? Can you speak to that a little bit?
Yeah. Bottom line is that we had some promotional issues. It kind of just, the time went by, working fixing all that. But when I did fix it, you know, now I was a free agent, and then getting a promoter and getting with another promoter takes time as well. So
Sure.
that burns some time as well. So that's kind of how I had that 2-year layoff from 2021 to 2023.
Yeah.
But we got it all situated. I signed with Pro Box, and I got 3 fights in 5 months right away. So that made up for some lost time, and here we are now.
Yeah, you've been
So
grinding.
like when you say that like there was like a falling out with the promoter, or you just weren't able to attain fights?
Basically both.
Yeah.
Both.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just inactivity that causing fallout with the promoter and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Now, sometimes we see like the relationships, like sometimes, you know, it's a very slippery slope, that dynamic of a father like working with their son or whatever, man. Yeah. You know, obviously it's a polarizing topic, you know. A lot of times the fathers can come on kind of strong or whatever, man. Talk a little bit about how important that relationship is, like you like working with your father. Your father's one of those guys, man, that gets you ready for the fights, man, but you don't really hear him like you hear like other fathers. You know what I mean? Like, which I appreciate.
Yeah. Yeah, like every father, every trainer has their style. My dad's more of on the reserved side, but he gets the job done. You know, he's the mastermind with a lot of the game plans. I go in there and I chime in. I give my input. He gives his input, and together, you know, we make for a great team. But of course, you know, like a lot of these father sons, we have our issues just due to the fact that, you know, he's also a dad as well. He's also a trainer, so he got it. It's a balance, but we make it work because I know at the end of the day, he wants the best for me. So, you know,
Make no mistake, Angelo. I'm the mastermind here too.
yeah.
I came up with the name and the logo, Angelo. So don't let him go crazy.
Yeah.
But hey, I want to ask you, just so the people can get to know like about you. When you get done with the fight, I mean, you just got done with the fight. So after the fight, you don't got to make weight no more. You don't got to do none of that. What's the go-to meal you got to have after you win a fight?
Oh, I think I like some pizza, you know, to be honest. I like some pizza, I like my cookies, but at the same time, I like steak, and I was eating a lot of steak during this camp, so that'll tell you like my weight was good, so I wasn't really craving too much this time around. But my go-to would have to be steak and pizza.
Wait, can you get a good pie? Are you able to get a good pizza? I mean, we're in upstate New York, man, so we know pizza up in New York State. I mean, you know, ain't no one's coming at us about pizza, man. We got pizza covered. But can you get a good pie down in New Mexico?
In Albuquerque, New Mexico, yeah, you can actually. There's a few places. And I've heard from some of my friends that they go neck and neck with the pizza out there in New York.
Wow, there we go. He's got spots. He's got spots in New Mexico. Shout out to the pizzerias in New Mexico, man.
No, you know, the pizza goes to die in the Midwest.
It does. It does. Yeah. I mean, you can't just go to any state and necessarily be guaranteed to get a good pizza.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't always happen. All right. So on the flip side of that question, man, you know, if you have to fight the best round of your life, the best 3 minutes of your life, man, and you need something to pump you up, man, is there a specific song or musical artist that would be playing in your head, man? What's the go-to?
I'd have to say maybe In the Air Tonight by Phil Collins.
Really? Taking it back to the 80s.
Yeah, I like the 80s, some of the 80s music, some of the Rocky theme songs.
Oh
well.
Yeah.
And we do got to, on the same side of that, Angelo, we do got to say that the Feel It in the Air beat, the rap beat, is the best beat of all time.
Yeah.
And
not to mention, And not to mention in the Hangover movie, in that first Hangover movie, man, In the Air Tonight was playing when Mike Tyson dropped Zach Galifianakis.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
He was jamming out to it, remember?
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
And so, all right, yeah, I respect that, man. Taking a young guy, taking it back to the '80s, man. Going back to when everything was so much better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hey, if I had my way, I'd go back to the '80s and just stay there. I mean, I'm 51 years old, so I mean, you know, I remember the '80s extremely well. Like, you guys are young. How old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
30.
30.
Oh,
Yeah.
so you and me are the same age.
Same age. Yeah. And so, like, what's the plan going forward right now, man? Like, you know, you're at featherweight, man. Do you want to unify? I mean, you know, if you could put your promoter hat on and you could pick your next fight, is there a direction that you want to go in?
I would like to unify. I would like to unify if possible. You know, probably next year. But that'll take some time. You know, 2025 for sure, though.
I'm trying to think. Who's the other champions at featherweight?
Listen, I got you covered right here, man. I've done my homework, man. The WBO belt is currently held by Rafael Espinoza.
Okay.
And then there's a belt held by Ray Vargas, and then Brandon Figueroa is the interim champion, and then Nick Ball has one, and then of course Angelo's got the IBF. Yeah.
Go lift that one off Nick Ball. He didn't even win it.
Yeah, go lift that one, man. I'm curious to get your take on some of the other young up and coming guys, though, man. At featherweight, because we've had some of them on, man. We had a guy that you fought before on, Tremaine Williams. We've had him on the show. We've had Shushu Carrington on. Well, first of all, yeah, I mean, Shushu came on our show. He's another New Yorker, man. Like, what do you think about him?
I've sparred him before. I think he's a good fighter, and he's on his way to fight for a world title here pretty soon too.
Yeah. How about Raymond Ford?
Raymond Ford, I've heard about him. I've seen him fight as well. He's a good fighter as well. And
is a rematch with Cool Boy Steph? Is that anything? You know, are you the kind of guy that thinks about that one loss and says, I want to avenge that if I ever get the chance down the road?
Eventually, if I get the chance, you know. But if it don't happen, it don't happen. My main goal is to win world titles.
You're not losing sleep over it. Yeah.
Yeah.
and hey, I look at it like this, man. If he beat you and Inoue beat him, and then you beat Inoue,
you've avenged it anyway.
Yeah. You can look at it that way as well.
Yeah, I want to look at it that way. That sounds good. That's good. That's a good. You know, I like the way you got there, Benji's. You know what I mean? Like, you showed you did the math. You showed your work. That makes sense.
Right.
That makes sense. And so right now, Ring Magazine's got you ranked number 2, man. And so, first of all, you know, do you feel like you have like a ceiling as far as like how high up you can go in weight? Like, you've come up from you started at bantam?
Yeah, I started my career at bantamweight, and then I won my first world title at super bantamweight. Now I'm at 126. I think in a few more years, depending on how I grow into my body, I'll move to 130. But for now, I'm gonna stay at 126. And
do you feel like 130? You know, for your body frame, do you feel like that's your ceiling? That that you wouldn't go above that?
It's hard to tell. You know, it's hard to tell. But I know 126. I feel good. So
yeah.
I don't think anytime soon I'll be moving up to 130.
I mean, 135 is obviously 132. 130 also though, man. A lot of great fighters there, man. 135 is like a crazy division though. Tons of talent there.
Right.
And so let me go in a different direction. So like of your all-time greats, you know what I mean? And we've now established this, Benji's. Mount Rushmore is in South Dakota, and there are 4 faces on Mount Rushmore. Somebody pointed this out to us in the comment section. So who's your Mount Rushmore of boxers all time? Your 4 top guys of all time for you.
For me, that's I have to. My favorite, Sugar Ray Leonard.
Yep.
Roberto Duran. I like Manny Pacquiao. Sugar Ray Robinson.
That's a solid 4. That's a solid 4.
That's a really solid
I'm
4.
gonna go with those 4 right there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I like
certainly
that.
want. Hey, I'd certainly go into battle with any of those guys having my back, man, without a doubt, man.
Yeah.
So I gotta ask. Well, go ahead, Benji. Did you have something you were gonna say?
No, go ahead. You got the floor, man.
I didn't want to. How active? Will you think that'll be your last fight for 2024, or would you like to get one more in? Activity wise, how active do you see yourself the rest of the year?
I believe so. I think I'll probably be fighting at the beginning of the year. So I think this is a wrap for 2024. I believe.
Yeah. Sit back and enjoy it. Sit back and enjoy it. Right, the fruits of the labor.
Yeah.
So,
don't enjoy it too much. Just get back in there here pretty soon.
Yeah.
Start
So,
training.
you got the world title now. What do you think? You say your next fight's going to be 2025. How much do you think is going to come together in 2025 for you as far as unifications and things like that? How much you think you're going to level up in 2025?
A lot. That's what I strive to do, is to level up as much as possible. Sharpen up my tools, sharpen up my skills, and just be a better fighter for 2025. And hopefully we get bigger fights that year. I make some few defenses, keep making those defenses, and just keep doing what I'm doing, but in a better level.
Yeah.
And don't give out your game plan here, Angelo. But what is something that you feel like going forward is something that you want to tighten up and become better at?
I would say,
Don't you dare say the left hook.
the left hook's there already. We're gonna keep that to itself. But
Even made my
I would
granddaughter
say
laugh.
just I want to work on a little bit of everything overall. Everything. There's room for everything to be improved on. I can't think of anything off the top, but when I start training again, when I start studying my fight again, then I'll know.
And when you go into this fight with Lopez, as I mentioned earlier, I alluded to the fact that, like the odds, the odds were, certainly in his favor as far as like betting, all that kind of stuff. Do you relish that role? Do you like going into fights as the underdog? Does it give you more motivation when people are counting you out?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. I've always been like that. Ever since I was young, I always had that mentality, like I'll show you.
Yeah.
And it worked for me in this fight, and it's gonna continue to work for me. Just I gotta stay level-headed and keep trying to prove people right, and then prove my doubters wrong.
Yeah.
Do you think being the incumbent champion, the guy who already possesses the belt, do you think even if the odds were in your favor, do you still think you would just tell yourself they're not?
Yeah, because there's a lot of people that doubt me. So I figure a way to motivate myself.
Yeah. It's almost like that's an easy role to be in though, man, because it is such a self-motivator,
It is, yeah.
I would imagine being the underdog, it's already kind of like, it's already adding like a fuel there before you even get started. You know what I mean? Like it's got to feel satisfying to shut people up after the fact,
Yeah.
That's got to be extremely satisfying.
The people that want to see you fail.
I know. That's got to be, yeah. It's like you land that left hook and you're just like, yeah.
Right.
I showed you, man. And so, you're obviously like a young guy or whatever, but your father, you got boxing in the family. Your father's a trainer. I don't know if you've thought this far ahead, man. But what do you envision life after boxing like? Do you feel like once you hang up your gloves, you'll find something else to do or with your life, or do you feel like you'll always have an attachment to boxing? Like, are you somebody that has thought about getting into promoting or getting into training fighters yourself? You feel like boxing is always going to be that path that you're on?
I think in some degree, yeah. I think I'll be involved somehow, whether it be training or, like you said, promoting. But I do I do plan on investing my money into real estate and things like that.
Smart.
But I love the sport of boxing. It's one of my passions. So somehow I'm gonna have my foot in there.
Do you have any children?
I have one, yeah.
Boy or girl?
Boy.
There you go.
There you go. Already got a future check. Okay, now that being said, now, man, now that we're talking parenting, man, if your son were to come to you and want to be a fighter, is it something that you would be happy about, or is it be something that you would say, geez, I really wish you wouldn't go in this direction? Obviously, you're going to let him do like whatever he wants, and he's got to follow his heart or whatever. But inside your own heart, though, is it something that you would want from? Because it is obviously a very dangerous sport.
It is a very dangerous sport. I don't know how my dad does it, but for me, like, if he really wants to do it, I'm gonna tell him, make sure you put 110% in it, and there's no half stepping in this sport because it's a serious sport.
Yeah,
and you get seriously injured in it. But I think I wouldn't want him to do boxing because I don't know if I could. I don't know if I could handle him getting hit and all that.
Yeah. And on the flip side, though, man, is his mother going to be excited about it? It's always the women that usually don't want their babies getting hit,
Yeah. Yeah, I think his mom would be. I've talked to her about it, and she said that he should be okay with it. But it's a different story when you actually see him.
When you see it.
It is a way different story, man. Yeah, I'm sure she'd much rather hear him be like, Dr. Leo or somebody, something
right.
something a little bit safer or whatever. So that being said, man, I'm glad we finally got a chance to do this, man, and I'm glad you got back with me, man, and that we were able to make this happen, man. I know you got a lot on your plate right now. There's probably people coming at you from all angles wanting to talk to you right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, you just did something absolutely incredible, man. So, really appreciate you taking the time to do it, man. I know we're friends on Facebook, so, certainly keep in touch, man. We'd love to have you back on again, man. It's been really fun talking to you, man. And, even when you got another fight coming up, man, keep us tapped in with what's going on, and, anything that's going on, we'd love to have you back on, man.
Okay. Yeah, no, thank you guys for having me once again.
Yeah.
I know it's been a long time coming, going back and forth, and I wasn't able to do it back then, but I made some time for it, and no, thank you guys for having me. It's a pleasure.
I really appreciate it, and no, and certainly no, no disrespect taken, because I go through that with having boxers on here, man. Like, I know when you got a singular focus on something, man. You know what I mean? It's hard, man. Especially when you're going to get into between those ropes and do war with another guy. You know what I mean? Like, that is where your focus is, man. So, to have people break away from that, man, to do interviews and stuff. There are people that will come on from time to time and talk to us, like, while they're in camp or whatever. But even sometimes when that happens, I'm happy to have them on. But in a lot of ways, I'm surprised, because I'm thinking, wow, it's great that you're joining us, man. But I wouldn't be upset if you wanted to wait until after the fight. You know what I mean? Yeah. You got a lot on your plate. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
But I'm sure everybody wants to talk to you right now, man. I mean,
that was a lot of interviews. For sure.
Yeah, an absolutely amazing performance. And I certainly think, man, that in the future, man, I think that will be the left hook that young boxers will go back and say, hey, this is how it's done right here. This is how I do it.
Yeah, hopefully, that's what
textbook.
That's what I aim to do, is inspire the kids and all that.
Yeah. Although on Wednesday night, man, we are going to have a 135-pound fighter on by the name of Lucas Body, who also had a phenomenal knockout this year too. So he might be your only competition for knockout of the year, because he just folded some guy up on the undercard of the Jake Paul fight, didn't he?
H2O Slive.
Oh, him. Okay. Yeah, that's another one. Another knockout. I've seen that one.
Although I'm not so sure that his knockout, though, man,
it wasn't as pretty as Angelo's.
No, it wasn't as pretty, and I'll also say that the level of competition also. Right, no disrespect to no disrespect to H2O, man, but I mean, he just knocked out fucking Luis Alberto Lopez. You know what I mean? That's no easy task. You know what I mean? Right. And like, we did, and as I said, man, we were sitting ringside. for his previous fight against Rhea Abe. So I mean, and you know, I kind of got what you said, like when you made that comment about, you know, when we talked offline about, you know, I saw some stuff in that fight or whatever, you know what I mean? You know, that I kind of put to use because, you know, I'm not somebody that does this on a competitive level, you know, but you certainly can see like where, with all due respect to Lopez, you know, like where there are opportunities, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, he is somebody that you can get to though, but you know, because he does do a lot of stuff unorthodox and not very conventional. And, you know, I think his power has allowed him to get away with a lot of stuff.
Right.
Not last weekend though.
Yeah, we were well prepared, you know.
Yeah. I mean, you know, so congratulations to you and the team, man. You know, give our best to your father, man. Awesome game plan, man, that he drew up, man. Super happy for you, man. Super proud that you pulled that off, man. And like I said, certainly stay in touch, man. We'd love to have you back on again, man.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you guys for having me once again.
Really appreciate it, Angelo. And the new IBF Featherweight Champion of the world. There he is right there, man. Hold up that left hand one time for us, man. Let's see it. There it is right there, the detonator right there. Oh, there it is. There it is right there, man. Listen, man, appreciate the hell out of you doing this, man. Thank you so much, man.
Thank you, guys.
Hey, man, stay safe, man.
Yeah. Talk to you soon, my friend. All right. Later. There he goes, folks. And the new IBF Featherweight Champion of the world, man. And that was no small feat, man. I mean, you know,
He beat a great fighter.
Huh?
He beat a great fighter.
Beat an absolute great fighter. I'm going to bring my co-host in here to close things out right here because she's been chomping at the bit and running around the bedroom here. Our roving reporter right here, our correspondent out in the field, adds nothing to the show at all. I mean, you got to start earning your keep around here, or you're fired.
Who do we wait? Before I say this, shout out Angelo Leo for coming on post-fight,
Chinito.
Post-big, huge victory for the belt.
Yeah, huge.
And gracing us with an interview. What a great guy.
Great guy.
And shout out him, shout out his team. And Layla, who do we always shout out? Who does Daddy shout out at the end of the show?
Harry Busey.
Do you know the line?
Shout out Carrie Busey.
Because I can
go
15
15 seconds
with anything.
That's
right. That's right. You could fight. Right. That basically means that you can stand up and fight anything and at least hold your own for 15 seconds. Beyond that, all bets are off. And you know, you might get squashed. But for those 15 seconds, you're going to be in the thick of things.
I'm in there.
Yeah. And congratulations. As Angelo alluded to, man, we've been friends on Facebook for a while. We've gone back and forth for numerous months. The timing just wasn't right. And I get it, man. As I said in the interview, man, like when you've got a singular focus and a task in front of you, man, you know, certainly, you know, any boxers that come on here and choose to come on during camp, I certainly salute them, and we've had plenty of them who have come on here, man. But certainly no disrespect taken, man. Concentrate on your fight, man. We can always talk to you well beforehand or well afterwards. You know.
Tell Papa to hit him with the slogan.
Huh?
I want to say like and subscribe.
Oh yeah, you could say that. Yeah. You could certainly tell people that. Yeah.
Like and subscribe.
Yes, absolutely. Like
and find us on Facebook.
I mean, if people can't look at that face and don't want to subscribe, and yes, I will resort to cheap promotional tactics right here, man. But I mean, you know, this is the most beautiful girl in the world right here, man. And I sincerely mean that. And I'm not just being biased because, you know, she's my granddaughter, man, you know.
No, you are, but that's okay.
Yeah, I'm supposed to be, though. I'm supposed to be. But yes, as my smart and beautiful granddaughter said, man, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and follow us and like us on Facebook, man, for all your updates on like new episodes coming up, for big fights that are coming up, for predictions, for our thoughts and our comments on different things. You know what I mean? We're always on there. We're active. Look, she's getting her puppet into the show here, man. Famous Dixon has made an appearance.
Tell Layla the slogan and let her spin it out of here.
Yeah, I want to thank Angelo Leo. This has been a long time in the making, as he alluded to, man. But, you know, man, he's a friend. He's part of the Off the Couch boxing family. And he throws one hell of a freaking left hook, man. Kids, if you want to study the perfect left hook, go to YouTube and type in Angelo Leo knocks out Luis Alberto Lopez, and then you can thank us later.
I want to show Dad something.
Uh-oh, she's got to show you something. Here's where it all comes unraveled right here, folks. This is where it all comes unraveled. But yeah, like while she's doing that, certainly pay attention to us on Facebook and like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. This is where you get the best boxing conversations anywhere on the planet. Anywhere. Show me someplace else, man. And you know what? The market is finally starting to catch up to us right now. So thank you to all our subscribers. Thank you, of course, to the guests who come on here and make doing what we do possible, man. All the people that have come on here, man, you're all legends in your own right, man. All the guys that have done it for years. Yep,
Oh, very nice, baby.
She's showing you her lip balm. Yep. Her lip balm has made an appearance in the Angelo Leo episode. So
Tell her
that
the
makes me feel
slogan.
good. Yeah. And so again, thank you, Angelo Leo, man. He runs his record now to 25-1, 5 fights in a row, man. Bring on Naoya Inoue. He wants to come up to featherweight. Angelo will welcome him with open arms and a solid left hook, man. That would be one hell of a fight right there. That's a scrap I'm looking forward to right
I
there.
want to show the inside of this one. This one's all glittery, Daddy.
Very nice, baby.
Look what this has turned into, man. A boxing podcast. Look what this has turned into. Glittery lip balm. I'm sorry, folks. You got to indulge us. You got no choice. And remember, folks, stay tapped in. You heard the slogan straight from my granddaughter's mouth. We can go 15 seconds with anything, even though we do spend most of our time on the couch, man. And remember, if you want to be a champion, you got to roll with the champs.
Like, subscribe.